This is a good update for the entire community about one of our most beloved buildings in Balboa Park. I'm pleased to be here this morning with all of you, but with the folks that are standing behind me. And they don't need introduction, but let me just do it for the folks watching at home. Our friend and State Senate President Pro Tempore, Senator Toni Atkins is here. Toni, thank you. Two city all-stars are here. Director of City Capital Engineering and Capital Projects, Rania Aman is here. Rania, great to see you. And a crowd favorite always, our Director of Parks and Recreation Department, Andy Field, everybody. And last but certainly not least, Doug Kerner, who is the Board of Trustees Chair from Forever Balboa Park, our recently merged Friends of Balboa Park Conservancy, one mighty nonprofit partner for the city to get stuff done in this park. Doug, thank you so much for being here and for all the trustees who are present. I want to note at the outset, we are unfortunately not joined today by City Council member Stephen Whitburn. He very much wanted to be here, but his schedule did not permit it. And I can't be in the park without acknowledging his partnership and his leadership in getting stuff done in Balboa Park. Having the mayor on your side is good. Having a senator on your side is even better. But you got to have the City Council with you. And Stephen Whitburn, we have a strong champion for Balboa Park. So thankful to him. And I want to start, of course, by acknowledging that we would not be standing here right now if it wasn't for our Senate President Pro Tem Toni Atkins, who secured critical funding for this incredible project that we are updating you all on today. Without her efforts, we certainly would not be here to give an update on this iconic and historically significant landmark. The Botanical Building Improvement Project aims to restore this magnificent building to its original 1915 condition as much as possible. This project is very comprehensive. It includes building restoration and structural improvements, planter upgrades, reconstruction of the historic window arcades, accessibility improvements, and a building addition and remodeling of the maintenance area at the back of the structure. Now, I know this group knows, but let me share with the public. The design phase of this project began last September. The Botanical Building was closed to the public in January. It pains us all to do that, but it's a necessary step for us to salvage, protect, and then replant as many of the plants as possible once construction is complete. While some of the larger trees will remain in place within the building throughout construction, many of the other plants have been lovingly relocated off-site for proper care and upkeep. The project is currently in the design phase, and we anticipate completing work on this incredible project in December of 2023. I know the public is anxious to get updates because everyone loves the park, and they especially love this iconic building. And I invite people to visit sandiego.gov/botanical building to keep up to date on project information. With that said, I want to thank and acknowledge the hardworking city staff that makes this project possible. They, of course, are led by Rania and Andy, but many of our city employees are here, and every one of our city member team. Thank you guys for what you're doing to protect and give this wonderful building another 100 years of useful life. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I want to thank Forever Balboa Park, who plan to improve the exterior of this building through landscaping, irrigation, and the helping lead on the future reconstruction of the historic pergola. The historic reconstruction of the Botanical Building is a more than $21 million project. And as I've already mentioned, but let me reiterate again, it would not be possible without the leadership of Senator Toni Atkins. Her securing of an $8 million state grant helped get this project kickstarted and underway. And so we're extremely grateful that Toni, who many of you know was formerly the council representative for Balboa Park, and she's gone on to higher and higher heights, historic heights, I would say. She has never, ever forgotten where she's come from or the lessons that she learned here in Balboa Park. In fact, she's taken the opportunities of leadership that she's had and always reinvested in the park. And this is just one of the many ways that she's done it. This ability to shine our city's crown jewel is made possible because of her leadership. And so it gives me great pleasure to invite to the podium my friend and our state senator, the president pro tempore of the California State Senate, Toni Atkins.
Well, good morning. Come on, you can say good morning. As I often say when I get to be in Balboa Park, what another beautiful, wonderful day in Balboa Park. We are so fortunate, and I want to thank Mayor Gloria because he is a true partner. When he talks about the legacy of Balboa Park, he and I both served as council representatives for this incredible park. I learned from all of you why it's so important to preserve, protect, and honor this incredible place. I learned from Chris Kehoe. I learned from Betty Peabody. I start to list names, I'm going to get in real trouble here, because when I look around and see the faces in this crowd and the incredible staff at the City of San Diego, I have been given this wonderful opportunity to represent Balboa Park for almost over 25 years, either as a staff member. So I certainly appreciate all the staff that continue to look after what we need to do for this incredible crown jewel, which we always call Balboa Park. And to our mayor, I just have to tell you, this partnership is real, it's important. To be able to bring $8.2 million, 8.2, Mayor, that's okay. He and I share a love of Balboa Park. We are, people's eyes glaze over when Todd and I start to talk. I can call you Todd, right? Start to glaze over when I start to talk about infrastructure. And how important infrastructure is. And we know that as we stand on this very, in my mind, sacred ground, not just as it relates to our native sovereign tribes who first called this home, but well over 100 years ago, when we saw the Panama, California exposition that brought to fruition so many of these incredible buildings, and the Botanical Building is one of four of the original permanent structures that was built in Balboa Park. So when we look at this, what we're doing here today, we stand here at the Botanical Building. We look at the iconic California Tower. How blessed are we to be able to pay tribute to these historic structures. Now, I do want to apologize to my staff, Doug, Pam, Tony. You wrote some incredible remarks for me. You really did. And I liked them a lot. But when I come home and I stand in a place that has been so meaningful to me in my life, I've often said, after every major crisis, Balboa Park has been that safe haven, that place that I come to regain my sense of purpose and peace. After 9/11, this is where I came as a city council member. And I know how important this is for all of you. And as our mayor said, we're going to be without this structure for a little while, but it's all going to be great because future generations, those of us who inherited this responsibility, this incredible iconic park and these wonderful buildings, including the Botanical Building, we have a responsibility to future generations. And I take that very seriously. I am honored to be your senator. I am honored to be able to use the ability and the influence I have to do really important things. And so I am here today to celebrate as we take the next step. I have to thank everybody that's really contributed to pulling this money together. The city, absolutely the patrons of Balboa Park, and the many organizations that have looked after these buildings for so long. I have to thank you all because without you, we couldn't have pulled all this money together, the resources together to do this right. We have to do this right. And I know, as you have always held me accountable, I know that we approach this with the reverence and the excitement that we all feel for this park and for the Botanical Building. I am glad Todd said all the really important things about the timeline and the process, because then I don't have to do that. I don't have to be responsible and do all that stuff. I can just say what I think and how wonderful this is. I really look forward to returning to participate in the ribbon cutting when this beautifully renovated building is ready to be reopened. So I've always been proud that this is part of my district, but I also know that there are folks who really work with you every single day to make it as wonderful as it is, despite the lack of resources we sometimes have. But now it is really my pleasure to introduce, as Todd mentioned, the director of the city's Engineering and Capital Projects Department, one of my very favorite, Rania Amin, to come up and say a few words. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and such an honor being out here today with Mayor Gloria and Senate Leader Atkins. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to join you in commemorating this moment. as we celebrate the steps taken toward bringing this project to fruition. Since the Botanical Building closed to the public in January, as Mayor Gloria mentioned, a lot has already taken place. Work started with the careful relocations of hundreds of plants inside the building, and concrete planters and walkways have been demolished and cleared as the site was graded. You will also see some noticeable opening in the walls of the structure. These are part of the structure investigations process to determine the extent of the necessary upgrade and retrofit and identify additional area of repairs that will help keep the historic building open for visitors for decades to come. The project is nearing the completion of the design phase. During the construction phase, you will see the building transform back to its original state. It was built in 1915 as much as possible. We'll do our best on that part, as seen in the picture right beside me here. One of the main features being brought back is the window arcades that wrap around the structure. The construction, as Mayor Gloria mentioned, anticipated to be completed by December of 2023. So we're super excited and looking forward for a ribbon cutting ceremony in the near future on this project. Also, it's worth mentioning, to help meet this target, we selected deliver this project via design build delivery methods. That means that the project team is allowed to work on design and construction activities at the same time, which reduces the overall time project between 6 to 9 months. The project is not a small task. However, it takes a team skilled and hardworking individuals to renovate an iconic building like this one. It's important to the cities, to its residents and visitors as well. First, I would like to acknowledge our industry partners, R&T Architects, EC Constructions, Whitelaw Architect, historical consultant Wayne Donaldson, and all the sub-consultant and subcontractor. This project would not be possible without their industry knowledge, experience, and the methodical approach, the delivering approach of such historical significance. So thank you everyone for your help and participation as part of the team. Next, I want to acknowledge the entire project team. Our wonderful city staff, starting from the Engineering Capital Project Department, the project management team, construction management team, the financial team, the environmental team, as well as Development Service Department. I always say it takes a city to build a city, so thank you everyone for your participation and great work. So without further ado, I'm gonna turn it over to Andy Field, Director of the city's Parks and Recreation Department. Andy?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Balboa Park. What a fabulous day. As Senator Atkins said, it's a celebratory day to see us advance this structure for another 100 years. Right, Rania? Yes. So with that in mind, I again express our partnership and gratitude to Senator Atkins and to Mayor Gloria, Councilman Whitburn, and really the entire leadership team of the city to help bring this project forward and to show that this is what we are about. This is a special place for all San Diegans to enjoy, and it is going to be even more special and just so heightened when we get to reopen here in another year and a half. This is a very exciting time of many transformations in the park. As you may be aware, there are multiple other projects that are happening, and we're very excited to see this sort of transformation happening, including another state grant for the building right behind us, the Casa del Prado. So we're really looking forward to seeing more transformative changes in the park. And that boils down to partnerships. There are so many of you here that have been so eager to participate and to help bring about positive change to this park. I can look at nearly everyone here and have a story to share about the ways in which you've advocated for the park. And this has all been led by our primary advocate group, the Forever Balboa Park. And in a moment, give me great pleasure to introduce their chairperson, Doug Kerner. But before we get there, I do want to mention a couple of other facts for you. This building, with its trellis structure, has enabled the growth of plants over the previous 100 years. We were able to save the vast majority of those plants, bring them to the Balboa Park nursery, and we'll be very excited to reintroduce those plants upon reopening of the structure. That includes cycads or sago palms that are unique to being within this building, as well as numerous flowering plants and other ferns and other plants that wouldn't necessarily grow outside but are perfect for inside that venue. And with the widened footprint of the walkways, we'll be able to achieve much broader access so that everyone will be able to enjoy the facility. Our plan is for it to resume normal operations free of charge upon the opening of the building at the end of 2023. And again, I want to especially thank our partnership with Engineering Capital Projects and with Rania and her team. They have been nothing short of fantastic, as well as the design build firms that Rania mentioned a moment ago. I also want to appreciate and thank our Park and Recreation staff. Again, it takes that village, and I know several of them are here. Thank you to all that you do. A special shout out to Christina Chadwick, who I think is here, who has been really instrumental in making this project get to the place where it's at today. So with that, as I mentioned before, once this project is done, we have some other plans for further improvements within this area. And our partners at Forever Balboa Park, who generously donated to the city the bridging documents that enabled the design build vendor to get on board and to show some of the significant public input that brought us to this point. Forever Balboa Park will then be handling the next phase of improvements after the building reopens in 2023, and we're super excited to see that move forward. And as we move forward to that, I want to introduce you to the leader of the board of directors chair. The leader, Elizabeth Babcock, couldn't be here today, but Doug Kerner is, and I want to express our warm welcome to Doug for all that he's done to bring us to this point. So Doug, thank you.
Well, thank you, Andy. Much appreciated. Good morning, everyone. I am certainly honored to be here with you today. You know, restoration of this iconic botanical building takes passion, takes planning, and it takes resources. And in a park like ours, it takes partnership, public and private entities coming together for the greater good. As early advocates and fundraisers, Forever Balboa Park help make this project shovel ready to receive state and city funding with a vision and well-crafted construction plans. We are forever grateful for the leadership of Senator Atkins and the critical commitment from Mayor Gloria and the City of San Diego to pursue this important investment in our park. Today, our focus remains on fundraising and planning for future exterior renovation and enhancements. We support the City of San Diego and the Parks and Recreation Department in providing a world-class botanical building that inspires and welcomes all. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you for being here. And let me do a little Doug work here. If you want to help support Balboa Park, you need to Google Forever Balboa Park and make sure that you're a part of this thing. I know one of the wonderful things about this city is that every single resident loves this park. They all want to find a way to support it, and there are a multitude of ways that folks can do that. I encourage you to get involved with Council District 3's office, with Forever Balboa Park, with the Park and Rec Department. We got a lot of folks that are carrying a lot of water around here, around these parts. In a moment, we're going to invite the press and the speakers inside for a ceremonial replanting of a small palm tree that will be relocated to the city nursery until construction is complete, but a symbol of our ongoing commitment to maintaining this as a fantastic botanical building. But I want to conclude by repeating all the thanks to everyone who's involved, a commitment to the public that we will get this project done in a world-class fashion very soon so that you can once again enjoy this property. And I want to just conclude by putting this in a bit of context, right? Park's 100 years old, more than 100 years old. It has seen its wear and tear, but what you see is a concerted and deliberate effort to make sure that we're improving every corner of the park that we possibly can. From where I'm standing right now, you see the Timken Museum that is recently reopened, Mingay that has recently undergone an enormous remodel and opened much of its facility for free. You see the Prado that's been completely resurfaced. You see new plantings that are going around the Natural History Museum, the Morton Bay Fig Tree Observation Deck that's incredible, the expansion of the petting zoo at San Diego Zoo. And this is just in this vicinity. We have so much more planned. I see my friend Steve here from Save Starlight. We got some work to do down in that corner of the park. I promise you that later this fall we will be repaving Park Boulevard because there's too many darn potholes out there and we got to fix it. But Ronnie and her team are on that. So we have a lot in store for this park. It is a part of this generation's commitment to our crown jewel. 100 years ago, people in this city, when we were a tiny, small city, had the audacity to do something big and bold, and it gave us Balboa Park. This is what this generation of San Diegans is doing, to reinvest in this park and make sure that it continues to shine for another century. I'm so proud to be a part of this collective team that is here, with all the kudos and respect and praise to Senator Atkins for the many investments she's made to make these projects I just listed to you possible. And let's continue to do this work. Let's make sure that in the way that we look back upon that past generation of San Diegans with such reverence and appreciation, that 100 years from now, people look at what we have done collectively and thank us similarly for our vision, for our audacity, for our boldness. This park is beautiful. It will continue to be beautiful because of all of you. So thank you very much for being here today, and please join Senator Atkins and I inside the Botanical Building for that ceremonial replanting. All right, let's do this.
Okay.
This is not killing. Yes, ma'am.